guys, so it is officially back to school time. I know, it sucks. For some of you, you may not even be going back to school yet. I know, I don't start college until September, but when I started middle school, I started end of August. When I started high school, I started like August 16th. Like, I know, completely sucky. I know a lot of you are going back now. Some of you may have already even started, which completely sucks, and I feel so sorry for you. Not that you shouldn't be excited to get your education on. Just not. Just no one's really ever excited. So this one is for your freshman year of high school. And yes, freshman year is terrifying to think about. I remember when I was in 8th grade, I used to talk about like, oh my god, I can't wait till I'm at high school. I can't wait till I'm at high school. Everything's gonna be different. It's gonna be just like it's in the movies. And then like the week before high school, I was like shitting my pants. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. And I'm not one of those people who really ever gets nervous for things. I get excited, but like, let's be honest, I was terrified. I had a lot of anxiety regarding my schedule for high school. And for me, I was lucky enough to get my schedule, I think, a week before classes. We had a freshman orientation, so I had my schedule for a week. I know some people don't get their schedule to the day of or the day before. So my recommendation, if you're lucky enough to get your schedule the week before, go through and highlight, and it tells you your classes and what days it's on. Highlight the classes that you have on those days. If you have all your classes every day, there's no point to that, but I had block scheduling, so I had some classes on some days, so I would remember what classes I had on what days. And then circle in huge letters the room number. And then I went with one of my friend's older sisters who's already there, or if you don't have a friend who has an older sister at the same school, go with your mom after school or something. Like, I mean, in the middle of the day during summer, and like check around to go find where all the classrooms are, and like do the route, go like from this class to this class to this class to this class, so you can like go around and get the feel of campus. When you walk on campus, it's not your first time. So even if you don't have your schedule, you should definitely try and do that. Just walk around campus, like see where people eat lunch, see where all the classrooms are, like how long the walk takes from the front of school to the back of the school, anything like that, just to get the feel of it. So when you walk on campus, you don't really feel like you're a fish out of water. So if you guys are one of those people who get your schedule the day of your first day of freshman year, don't be worried. Do not be worried, because the thing is I'm assuming you're concerned that you're gonna get lost. But this thing, if everyone else is in the same boat as you, everyone else is gonna get lost too. I remember I even had my schedule like 2 weeks before school, and I got lost probably every day for a good month. It's hard, it's one of those things, and it's not like you get embarrassed. It's like you walk into the class, no one does that class like, oh, someone missed her, like, you don't even know where you are, like, what, freshman? Like, it's not like that. Like, there's gonna be tons of people coming in. I had people come into the first day of freshman class. I had them come in like half an hour late because they're like, I'm sorry, I got lost. And everyone's like, it's okay. And it's like, dude, happened to me earlier. Like, oh my god, happened to me before too. So it's like everyone bonds over the fact that you're all lost and you're all in the same boat. So if you feel like you're gonna be the only one getting lost, like, you're not. I can guarantee you, you're not. One of the things that I was completely terrified for freshman year is that I knew for a fact that I didn't have any of my friends in my classes. And I was terrified, like completely terrified. I had the same friends since I was in middle school, since I was in elementary school, and like suddenly they just weren't gonna be in my classes. Like, who was I gonna sit with? At least for my school, it's like there's a whole bunch of middle schools that go into one high school. So you're gonna be sitting with a whole bunch of people who don't even know anyone at this school. If they came from a smaller middle school or anything like that, some people come from being homeschooled. So you've got those kids. And then on top of that, you've got tons of people who are in your same boat. I always thought like, oh my god, I'm gonna be the only one like this. I'm gonna be the only one like this. Like, it completely wasn't true. I became friends with girls freshman year who I had gone to the same school since elementary school, yet I had never talked to them. Just because what happens when you sit next to someone, if you open, everyone is looking to make a fresh start freshman year. So I think you don't really need to hold grudges against people. Or if someone was the mean girl in middle school, like, give her a second chance. Like, say hi to her in the hallway, or if you see her sitting next to you, like, strike up a conversation. Like, I don't really think anyone should keep those prejudices that they had in middle school towards people, because a lot of people want to change when they get to high school. So I'm not going to further on that whole changing for high school thing. I have an entire video on that, which I will link down below. So on forums, one of the questions I get the most about going into high school is trying to make friends, or making friends in high school. And I can personally say for myself, you guys know my best friend Sydney. Sydney and I have been best friends since we were 11, since we were in 6th grade together. But Sydney and I didn't have any of the same classes in high school together up until I think junior year was the first time we ever had. No, we didn't even have a class together junior year, did we? No. Sydney and I didn't have a class together until senior year, okay? And like, we remained best friends. So if you're scared that you're gonna drift away from your friends because you have different classes, don't be concerned of that. I didn't have classes with any of my close friends. I had a whole group of really, really tight friends in middle school, and I didn't have a class with a single one of them all of my freshman year. So I survived. I didn't die. I'm totally okay. I'm not scarred for life or anything. So one of my closest friends that I had from freshman to about sophomore, beginning of junior year, I actually met the first day of freshman year in my freshman class. And it was one of those things where if you just strike up a conversation with someone or you be nice to someone, because honestly, everyone is feeling like they're not gonna make any friends. Everyone is feeling like they're the only one there who has no friends, and everyone there is feeling like, oh my God, I'm so nervous. Even the kid who's acting like super cocky, like, sorry, just like walked in late, like, what up guys? Oh yeah, I know you. We went to soccer camp together, bro handshake, woo. Like honestly, like he's putting on a front. He's probably just as nervous as anyone else is to go to high school. I mean, high school is obviously a scary thing, but if you go into your classes like being friendly, like sitting next to a person, I remember, I don't know, I doubt she ever even watched my videos, but Emma, this girl named Emma, who I went to high school with, ended up, we sat next to each other the first day of freshman year in one of these classes, and I just like struck up a conversation with her, and we ended up being like super, super good class friends, and like sat together every day in class for like the rest of the year, or like to sophomore year, and like to this day I see her in the hallways, I'm like, Emma, hey! And can't really be passive your first day freshman year, or even freshman year in general. I think it's one of those things where you really gotta go out and just like take life by the reins or whatever it's called and just like introduce yourself to people. If you see someone who seems to be like sitting by themselves or a little awkward, be like, hey, I haven't met you yet, like, or did we go to like I don't really remember you, I feel like we never got to know each other, like I'm Megan, blah blah blah. I mean, say your real name, don't pretend to be me. That's identity theft. Tisk takes children. So I remember coming home for my first day of freshman year, and I was completely terrified to go, and telling my mom, saying, how was it? And I'm like, oh my God, it was not nearly as bad. It's like going to the dentist. Like you get yourself so hyped up and you're just so nervous and you're dreading it and dreading it and dreading it, and it's really, really not that bad. So now addressing high school myths about freshman year. So freshman year hazing, honestly, the only time I ever dealt with anyone, not even like hazing me, was like, we go to like the rally and everyone's like, boo, freshman! But okay, that's like 5 guys who are probably like chubby, not that attractive, and senior year is going to be the highlight of their entire lives, which is sad. So ignore those people. But so an actual high school myth is seniors hitting on freshmen or upperclassmen hitting on freshmen, and this does happen. This happens a lot, like a lot. And one of those things is you may think like, oh my God, Joe loves me so much. He really, really likes me. I'm so lucky to be dating the guy, like the most popular guy at school. It's amazing. But there are some guys who have, so at least at my high school, there were a lot of guys who had a reputation of being freshman hunters, who would every year, no matter what grade they were, and they were senior, they'd go for freshman. When they were junior, they'd go for freshman. When they were sophomores, they'd go for freshman. If they automatically go to the freshman. And typically that seems to be is because freshmen really don't understand or don't really know people's, not social standings, but they don't really know them well enough to know their past history, to know what they're like as people, is that I think that's one of the biggest mistakes freshmen can make is automatically starting dating someone who's older than you. I think that's like one of the biggest no-nos. I've had friends who started dating people who were upperclassmen and like did not realize the kind of reputation they had with girls until they were in like the wrong moment, and they put themselves in that moment because you get kind of naive when you're a freshman, you get really excited, all that stuff, but do your research about people. There were guys a grade above me who would crazy hit on my friend Jerry, who is 2 years younger than me, and I would be like, no Jerry, no, they're creepy. And if you don't have a friend to do that, just like honestly like, ask around, be like, so like what's so-and-so like, what's so-and-so like, because you really don't know someone's true characters until you've known them for a while. And sometimes freshmen can just hop into things being like super excited and like think like, oh my God, this boy really likes me, and it could just be like an act. I'm not saying that that's how all couples are in high school at all. I had friends who were freshmen who dated juniors, and it was like completely legit. It was fine. I think it really depends on the person, but just go into it, be wary, like do your research. Don't just hop into it thinking that they're an awesome person and they don't want you for sex, because let's be honest, once high school boys get to a certain age, all they want is sex. Unless they're gay, then they want gay sex, and if you're not a boy, then don't worry about it. I think schools, most high schools are really good at having that transition from 8th grade to freshman year. No one is going to throw like a 13,000 page paper on you the first day of freshman year. They really ease you into it, but high school is really different than middle school when it comes to academics and your classes and all that stuff. And what I can completely recommend is if you get homework on the first day of freshman year, do not put it off. Do your homework the first day of freshman year. That may sound boring, it may sound stupid, but you need to get those study habits down, because personally I have fantastic study habits, not to toot my own horn, but like I know going into college now that I'm completely confident that I am not a procrastinator. I will not put my work off, and I will do my homework the day it's assigned, because I've been doing that since freshman year. I did not do that middle school. I did not do that middle school at all. I was not an academic girl in middle school. Unless I really liked the class, I was like, screw this, I'm not doing that. It's more of a, not delinquent, I was just a little rebellious when I was like 14, 13, 12. In middle school, I used to go out and go, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. In high school, I went by, I have to do this. I have to do this. No, a teacher may not be collecting these notes, but I have to do this so I can get better notes, so I can get into a better school, so I can get a better job, and I can have a better life. Honestly, for me, I always thought of the bigger picture. When it comes to academics, I think you should think of the bigger picture. So I remember when I was entering my freshman year, I just wanted to hear about the boys. I wanted to find the boys. I wanted to be friends with the boys. I wanted a boyfriend. I wanted to hang out with boys, 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 boys. And after about a week of school, I realized, like, hey, I got a lot of work to do. I have a lot of homework. I've got a lot of projects. I got a lot of studying to do. And boys really aren't my priority. Another advice I have for high school is really get involved. If you're really shy, for me, I'm not a shy person. So clubs and getting all that stuff, or like doing leadership, or doing a student council, ASB, or doing anything that really didn't apply to me just because I am a really sociable person. But if you really feel like that, you want to put that on a college application, it looks amazing on college applications to be on student council, to be in clubs, to be leaders of clubs, create your own club, anything like that. If you're like a shyer person, you're looking out to make friends, like join a club. It's a really like condensed group of people with a similar interest. So teachers have way, way, way less of a bullshit tolerance in high school, and that's really what I like to word it. It's the kind of like dealing with people texting in class, dealing with girls, dealing with girls going, yeah, I didn't do my homework, like really whatever, like acting like classic like The Clique or like Mean Girls. You cannot act like that in high school. Teacher will call you out on it, you'll get sent to the principal's office, or they'll downright completely take away like your grade. They'll really, like, they will do that. Like, participation and your attitude towards class completely counts. You cannot treat high school, if you treated middle school in a kind of a carefree who gives a fuck way, which I really did. I did not take middle school seriously. You cannot do that with high school. You need to take high school seriously because it is what gets you good grades, which gets you into college, which gets you into a good job, like all that stuff. Obviously, there's exceptions. You can get into, you can go, like, have a fantastic life without going to college, but if you're at path, or your goal is to get into a great school, you want a dream school, you want to look at colleges, you're looking to go to college, and you really need to crack down and focus on school. So I don't mean this to scare you in the slightest, saying that high school's not fun at all, or there's no social aspects of high school. There's tons of social aspects, and you can participate in all those social aspects and still maintain good grades. I had A's and B's all high school, and I still had a fantastic social life. I still hung out with friends, I still had guys I hung out with. I had a boyfriend at one point in time. I'm so pathetic. I went to dances, I went to prom, I hung out, went to parties, hung out with friends, did whereas in plays, anything like that. You can still do all of that and get good grades. It's not impossible, but you just need to know, and you need to know what comes first, and school should always come first. So I hope this made you guys a little less nervous for your freshman year of high school, and there's really no need to be nervous. And I know me saying that's not gonna change anything. I was still nervous and people told me not to be, but just know that it's gonna be fine. It's really gonna be fine. If you go in with an open mind, you don't get nervous, and you just go in and you're really friendly and outgoing, you're gonna meet fantastic people, and you're gonna have a really, really awesome time. So good luck. Don't be an annoying freshman, because then people might put you in a trash can.